I'm Esther.
And I'm Susie. And this is Limited Time Only.
Brief, a pick-me-up in shorter podcast form.
Hello, Esther Stanford.
Hello, Susie Riddell.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to LTO Brief.
I expected a bit of music then. Welcome to LTO Brief. Dum, 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 dum.
Well, you never know. You do need a little
jingle
theme tune. So what you just heard is our new theme tune.
So I think my da will suffice.
That is passable. Yeah,
that is the one.
That's the kind of standard we've come to expect.
Absolutely. And I need to stop saying absolutely. It's like a little...
You do say it a lot.
I do say it a lot. And the more I think about it, the more I say it. And the more I try not to say it, the more I say it. When I was a kid, I used to say, oh, man. And my dad used to get right on his last nerve. And it wasn't intentional. It just kept happening. So I need to stop that.
There is something about when you think about something, you do it. It's like when it often happens in comedy programs, doesn't it? I mustn't say cunt.
and then I can't stop saying it.
And then
I can't stop saying it.
Yes, it's the thing you mustn't say.
Yeah.
And you just can't, it just, because it's there and it's in your mouth and it has to come out.
It does.
Let's move on.
So, LTO Brief, we have asked our subscribers what they would like us to talk about for our topic, for our riffing topic.
Well, listen, Esther, I think we should full disclosure, because it is the first one.
Yes.
I think we should be honest and say we've only had one suggestion.
Well, it's a very good suggestion.
It is a very good suggestion. And I want to say that we've had this one suggestion because it comes from a very important man in our lives.
Well, yes, that's what I was going to say. Mr. Neil
Hopkins, a.k.a. Thermal Satsuma. A.k.a. the greatest supporter of LTO we could have ever wished for.
Yeah, he is. He's wonderful.
Has been there since the beginning. Actually won the award in season 2, didn't he, for best story. We should do that again. He won a rather smart little trophy, LTO trophy, that was pink and had our logo on it.
He certainly did.
So I'm thrilled that the first suggestion has come from him. And now what we've got to do is I'll tell you what it is, and I'll read out his what he wrote to us, and then we've just got to talk about it for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Or less.
I mean, can we keep it to 10? I don't know, Suze. We're chatters.
I think we should.
Okay.
We should try.
Okay. Set people. The timer.
Set your timers. So, Neil writes, my suggestion for an LTO brief would be a moment of zen. How do you find time in the day to be calm in the middle of your hectic lives? Go. Be calm.
Go. I think this is a really good thing to ask because these last few weeks I have felt mad, sort of at full capacity. Only the last few weeks. I go through waves. Definitely go through waves and phases. And in fact, yesterday afternoon, I'd worked every night and pretty much every day, and then I was working yesterday and I had such a throbbing head, and then I just physically couldn't think of the next thing that I needed to write, and it was like everything shut down. My husband is great. He said, just stop it. Just stop your work. My head was pounding. I had something that was going on, so I cancelled it. And I went and got in the bath and I turned my phone off. In fact, I think I told you later, just because we were sorting something or other. And I lay in the bath and I didn't speak, and I felt like I didn't want to watch anything on the television. I just needed complete silence. And it was like my body was resetting. And I think I need to factor more quiet space in my life and do more breath work and just do on a daily basis, because I'm 100 miles an hour, a million ideas, let's go. And then I'm always trying really hard to make everything the best I can make it. And that almost puts too much pressure on everything. And I don't know how to pull back on that. If I'm in a conversation with you, I want to be 100% there. If I'm sort of, and it sort of stresses my body too much. And when I did a play at back end of last year, the first few nights I really didn't enjoy. I felt like I wasn't in my own body on stage. And then before the third show, because the show was with Mindful Sue, I think I've mentioned this before, but she did a little breathwork session for 10 minutes and I was completely transformed. And I thought, yes. And yesterday taught me again, I need to factor this separation, put my phone down, put it in another room, get out and just step away and get back into my body and get into the real world and get out of my head.
Yes. Oh, well, firstly, I'm really sorry that you went through that, because I could, when you did explain it to me in a text, and I just felt so awful for you, because I understand how that feels. But I do think you're very good at recognizing that in yourself, possibly more so than me, who will probably just push on.
I think that's because I had a nervous breakdown in my 20s. Okay. And I think that's why. And then I had, and then my thyroid was literally pulsing about 2 days ago. And as I've said before, so I could feel like this, which I don't get. So it's almost like there was too much pressure. Yeah. And I thought, oh, this isn't right. But I almost open more tabs when I've got too much going on. It's almost then I sort of go into some sort of overdrive and then look at my phone more, and I must post more, and I must do more.
Do you think that is yes? And I can completely see how that would happen. And when you saying that, I think, God, I think that's what I do as well. And I partly think it is because you start ignoring things. So you instead of doing this instead of doing the task that you've got open, you look at the next thing. It's almost I think it's almost like a distraction technique, but it has the opposite effect, because it kind of loads you further. Because I always think, not always, I've become aware, and I am definitely getting better at it. Do the thing. Just do the thing.
Yes, because at once. Just that.
Do it. I mean, this is a ridiculous example, because it doesn't really have any bearing on anything. But yesterday, we'll talk about this in a minute, but I went for a sauna yesterday, and what's it called? Plunge pool thing. Actually, it was a barrel. I mean, calling it pool is a bit a massive barrel, and there was a hot tub as well. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, I know. And then I went for lunch.
Yes.
So you had this very stressful day. I had the opposite. So sorry about that. But I went for lunch with a friend, and the waiter was brilliant, really nice. And he brought me some cake because he'd overheard my friend saying happy birthday. And my birthday was a few days ago. But he'd heard happy birthday and said, oh, did I hear it was someone's birthday? And it was like, oh, it was last week. And he said, well, you can't have birthday without cake. And actually, I hadn't had any cake for my birthday.
What?
I did not blow out a candle. I've just realised, which is very sad.
That's really sad. And when I see you next, I'm bringing a candle.
Oh, do that would be lovely.
Yes,
but so I got this lovely piece of carrot cake, and I didn't tell him that I hadn't had cake, but it really was very touching that he brought that to me. And then he brought me one of those little cards with the the QR code, and scan it and leave a review. And his name was Saul. And I said, I'm going to do it right now, because if I don't, I won't do it. And not that but I say it's not important. It's important to him, and I did really appreciate his service and everything. And I also thought, well, I might be in for winning 50 quid. So that's the main. Let's not pretend I'm some kind of altruistic, patron of waiters. I just want to win 50 quid.
Patron of waiters.
He was very nice. He was very good, and he deserved the good review. But yeah, I had to do it straight away. And I've been really good with the podcast as well, just like doing the thing, do the editing. Don't just think about doing the editing and putting it off, because as you know, listeners, you might not know this. I have tended to be putting the episode together at about 1 a.m. the night before it comes out.
So I'll send Susie my bits that I've edited. Fanar, and then you edit sections, I edit sections, and then Susie has always been the person that puts the final bit together. But yeah, there have been times when she's like, I went to bed at 4 or something like that.
I mean, mainly because I'm just a control freak and I like to have the final edit, and I can do what I like, and then Esther just has to listen to it and go, oh, you've taken out that whole monologue
section
that I did,
where I was hilarious,
and the contemporary dance that I composed. No, but it's just easier for one of us to do it, and I've got all the sound effects. But anyway, I think it's doing the thing makes me less stressed. But also I feel I am lucky because I do live 500 meters from the sea. But I haven't been able to get to the sea the last 2 days. It's been gloriously sunny, and I've not made it there. So after this, in fact, Neil, this is what I'm going to do today. I've had a lovely morning chatting to Esther, but I am going to go to the sea and get in. Yeah. I'm going to go for a very quick sea swim, and then have a wash.
Have a wash because of all the sewage that's in the sea. Actually, I was going to cancel coffee with friends because I've got a session tomorrow that I'm planning, and I need to get that finished. And we're going to my mother-in-law's tonight. But actually, after doing this, I think I'm going to go for the coffee with friends.
Yes.
Because actually, that's what I need. And then I'll come back, and instead of, because I don't know if you do this, Suze, I'll be working on something and then I almost get stuck to my chair, and then I go, and I'll just check this. And actually I can, and I'm always trying to get ahead so that I can reduce my list, but my list is always going to grow. And that's part of something.
And actually being able to finish something and to have the focus to do it, you do need to take the break away. I mean, breathing is, I've been very conscious of in the last few weeks. I have been quite stressed. And I was aware that I was really only breathing. I think still am, to be honest, just below my collarbone. I feel like that's as far as my breath is getting. So it's quite short, and it's not getting all ramabod. But I did do a breathwork session with Guru Sue.
Yes.
Everybody listen back. Season 1, episode 3.
Oh my God, you can remember that. You are
time
amazing.
For a bit of Zen, actually, which is how strange. Yes, because and this little brief chat is about finding Zen. So what we should recommend everybody does is go back to season 1, listen to Sue, our chat with Sue for a start off in that whole episode, but also find the bonus episode, which is a mindfulness meditation led by Guru Sue, Susan Hawkins, amazing woman, and it's 10 minutes long. And that, and the other person I listen to regularly is Kirsty Gallagher. Her Monday mindfulness meditation. Every Monday it's like a 10-15 minute meditation on a different thing to focus on, and it's brilliant, and it's just there, and it's in your ears within seconds, and it's great.
So Mindful Sue she's an actress and a producer, and she does breath work and stuff. She also hosts a breakfast show on Black Country Radio, and this morning I went on and co-hosted with her, which I do sometimes if her comedy partner's off, and we were talking about breathwork, and she did some breathwork before the show, and it was by a guy called Breathe with Sandy, and it's on YouTube, and he uploads all the time, and they're sort of 10-15 minutes, and she said to me, do that every day, and then you won't get as much as you can, even if it's just 5 minutes or 2 minutes, but if you can do those. And he was great. And apparently, I do remember, he's a bit like Matthew McConaughey. He's like, all right. But so he's like an American guy.
That sounds good. I was thinking when you said either 1 or 2 minutes, I often get stressed because I'm tired. I do go to bed too late, probably. I am woken every night by my little boy, and then he wakes me every morning. Quite too early, but I'm very good at catnapping. And just before we came to record today, I didn't sleep, but I set my alarm for 15 minutes and just lay there with my eyes shut. And sometimes, honestly, I will set my alarm for 3 minutes if that's all I've got. If I know I've got to go and get the kids from school and I've literally got to leave the house in 5 minutes and I'm exhausted, I will set my alarm. I'll give myself 3 minutes of lying down with my eyes shut, and it usually does something.
It's amazing, isn't it, that short period of time and what difference that can make. I've done similar things, but it's something I must hold on to, because it has been particularly just a lot going on work-wise, but a lot going on at home as well, and just take that little bit of time, close your eyes. And also something else I do, watercolors. I've got a little set of watercolors, portable ones, that I had for Christmas, and I will do a little bit of painting and just get myself out of thinking.
I think there's something in that. There's something in this crafting thing, and because I like sewing, but I would quite like to do something with you with painting. But we should do a sort of painting. Maybe in one of the briefs we could do, like, we could each paint while we're talking and see what we come up with. Anyway, look, we've spoken for 12 minutes.
Oh my God, I knew we couldn't do it.
But it's still brief. We kept it tight, and I think there was some good. It's nice and tight.
Nice and tight, mate.
Some good little tips there from us. 2 of the least stressed people you've ever met. I'm going to go and jump in the sea and cool off. And what are you going to do, Esther? You're going to go for coffee with your friends?
I'm going to go. I was going to cancel to do my work, but I'm not. I'm going to go and spend an hour with them and then come back and do my work.
Brilliant. And Neil, thank you for the suggestion.
Yes, thank you,
we look
lovely
forward
Neil.
to more suggestions for LTO Brief. I haven't got a tagline for it yet.
No, in your pants.
In your pants.
Just every time you say brief, I just think of pants. But that's how my brain works.
But we'll get there.
We will.
For the next time. Ta-ra!
Ta-da!
That to join the LTO community, you can sign up using the link in the show notes for this podcast, or by heading to the Limited Time Only Podcast Instagram account and following the link in the bio or in our stories. Alternatively, you can pop us an email. Send it to limitedtimepodcast@gmail.com. Once you've signed up, you'll receive beautifully infrequent newsletters of manageable length featuring news of upcoming guests, first access to tickets for live shows, and the chance to suggest topics for LTO Brief episodes. Don't worry, I've got Susie and Esther on a strict training program to equip them for technology in the modern age. I've started them off with learning a TikTok dance. Wish me luck. You have been listening to Limited Time Only. Brief. Small but perfectly formed. Just like me.
Perfect.
Fab.
Oh my God, I love doing this.